Hey guys, welcome back. So we are at our third unboxing for the month of March. And like I said, we've got more coming up, not just unboxing, we're also going to review every laptop that we unbox. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss that unboxing as well. But anyway, so for today, we have a laptop from Razer, alright? Specifically, this is the Razer Blade 15. So this is the one that was announced, I believe, in CES this year with the latest RTX 30 series graphics cards. But anyway, let's not waste too much time. Let's open this up. I have to say the box is quite, subdued. No design. In fact, I don't see the Razer logo anywhere. I see THX, but I'm guessing there's another box inside this box. But let's open this up. Okay, so before we get to the box, we have the charging brick wrapped around in this very interesting plastic. You got your power cable, you've got your brick. Man, this brick is huge. Now, I mean, we've reviewed some Ultrabooks from Asus and from LG, and those were tiny. And I did mention that most of them are tiny except for gaming laptops that require more juice. And this is one of them. So this one is massive, it's huge, all right? So before we get to the laptop, I just want to take a look and see whether it's still Type-C or whether they have their own like a barrel or proprietary port. Yeah, so this is a proprietary port. It's not Type-C because I don't think Type-C can provide enough power to juice a gaming laptop with the GPU on. Anyway, let's see what else is in the box. Okay, so we're just left with the actual box. So take it out. And right, that's empty. Let's put that aside. So this is the box. I gotta admit, I'm a little surprised. I expected a lot more green. This feels very brown with the logo. It feels like it's recycled, and I think it was because in the box it said something about, yeah, there you go. So corrugated recycle. So I'm guessing all these boxes are all used from recycled material. So well done, Razer. All right, so there you go. So we were talking about the box. So now they seem to have decided to go with a more sustainable route for their boxes, and I mean, who's going to complain about that? So if you look here, go green with Razer, commitment to sustainability. Well, we're not going to go too much on that, but well done, Razer. I think that's a really good initiative. But here is the laptop, and it's actually huge. This is a Razer Blade 15, I believe, and I didn't expect it to be so big. Somehow in my mind, I thought it'd be a lot smaller. So let's take it out. All right, so we got the laptop here. I think the light is reflecting. Yeah, there you go. It's here. We'll put that aside for a minute. I'm guessing this is your usual documentation. Maybe some stickers. I mean, it's Razer. Hopefully that's stickers. All right, thank you for choosing a Razer system. Card. Another card from the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Min Yang Tan. So yes, this is the Razer Blade 15, and this is the base model. Now, if you're wondering why it specifically says base model, that's because there's also an advanced model, and there's actually quite a fair bit of difference between the two, but we'll talk about that later. We have a cleaning cloth. Okay, that's cool. And of course, we've got the Razer stickers. Okay, so this is the Razer Blade 15 base model. Okay, let's check. Okay, of course, when it's closed, there's this zero flex. Let's open this up, and of course the one-handed open test. Again, not bad, well done. Wow, it's got pretty big speakers on the left and right. I'm assuming these are speaker grills. I'm sure they are. Yeah, on the screen, okay, it flexes a bit, but that's still within reason. That's nice. Oh, chassis is chassis is rock solid. I'm trying to press down and it is not flexing at all. Alright, so let's take a look at the specs of the Razer Blade 15 base model. First of all, your CPU. Now this is a bit of a surprising one. Now, a lot of the new laptops that are released this year all tend to use the 11th gen Intel if they go with Intel. This one is still sticking to the 10th gen, specifically the i7-10750H processor. Now this is a 6-core, 12 threads CPU. Again, I'm surprised it didn't, make the move to 11th, but anyway, I don't think that's that big a deal. In terms of RAM, I believe it has 16 gigabytes of RAM. In terms of storage, you have 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD, but they do give you an extra slot in the event that you want to expand it. Now, I don't have details on whether the second slot also supports NVMe or just M.2 SATA. I'm not quite sure. But of course, you know, with a gaming laptop, one of the most important things is your GPU. So this has a GeForce RTX 3070 in this laptop with 8GB of GDDR6. And now in terms of your display, you have a full HD display. Of course, gaming laptop, you've got a high refresh rate. So this is a 144Hz full HD display. I don't have the color accuracy details at the moment, but I will get to them and I'll speak about them in the review. All right, and looking at I/O. So on the left-hand side, we have the power socket here, or where you plug in your laptop charger. You've got a full LAN port here, very nice. You've got a USB port here. I'm assuming this is USB 3 at least. You've got a Type-C and you've got an audio combo jack. Now, I believe that this USB Type-C ports support Thunderbolt 4. I'll have to confirm that in the review. But looking at the other end, all right, so you have another USB Type-C. This time around, you've got 2 USB ports and you've got a full HDMI port. Now, in terms of I/O, I would say it's actually pretty good. You've got a full array of USB ports. You've got 3 USB ports. You've got 2 USB Type-C ports. My only worry is this HDMI. Now, I don't know what version of HDMI it is, and I don't know whether you can actually get things like FreeSync and G-Sync over the HDMI, because it needs to be, I can't remember which version, I think it's HDMI 2.0 and above. Because it doesn't have a DisplayPort out, although I think you can get DisplayPort out with the USB Type-C. Again, I'll need to confirm that later on. But anyway, let's switch this on and take a look at the laptop. Okay, I actually spent the last 5 minutes trying to look for the power button. It's actually here. So on the right speaker grill, or at least I think it's a speaker grill, you have this little gray rectangle here. That's actually the power button. I'm actually going to assume that that's also a fingerprint scanner, because it kind of looks at it like that as well. Anyway, I'll need to set this up. Okay, so we've fully set up Windows. Took about 2,000 hours as usual. But during that 2,000 hours, I actually Googled the Razer Blade 15, went to the store and confirmed a few of the specs. Now, good news is the HDMI, what I found out was it's HDMI 2.1, so that's fantastic because HDMI 2.1 supports 4K resolution all the way up to 120Hz, so I'm pretty sure you can actually get FreeSync or G-Sync out of the HDMI port. But of course, we'll need to test that out. The other thing is, so I mentioned that there were 3 USB-A ports. They're actually USB-A 3.2 Gen 2. So that's great. You have 2 USB Type-C. Now the thing is, one of them supports Thunderbolt, one doesn't, and it's not Thunderbolt 4, it's actually Thunderbolt 3. Now this is where we get to the problem. Now if you look at the Type-C port, you've got one here, you've got another one over here. There is no indication, there is no logo, there is no Thunderbolt logo to either one, so I don't know which is which. Very cool wallpaper, I will admit I actually quite like it, it's quite nice. Now, obviously it's a gaming laptop, so one of the first things that we should be testing is games. Now, because I've just set it up, it's going to take too long to install Steam and to install all the games. So right now we're just going to do a very rough unboxing of the Razer Blade 15. But of course, we are going to install all sorts of games. We're going to test them out in our full review, which will come out in about a week's time. So again, do remember to subscribe so you don't miss that review. But anyway, first thing I want to do is, while I was setting up Windows and I was typing my Windows account to log in and all that, I noticed that I am not a huge fan of this keyboard. Now, obviously, it's a chiclet style keyboard. It's not a mechanical one. Now, in terms of size and spacing in between the keys, I think it's fine. My issue is, okay, first of all, it doesn't feel very nice. And there is very little travel with each of the keys. Now, there are some laptops that even though they're chiclet, they do have quite a fair bit of travel, and I quite like that. Now, with these keys, even though it's not pressed yet, it's very close to being flushed with the laptop anyway. So you've got very little travel. Like with this, it's very, very little. I'm not a huge fan. Now, it might be something that I can get used to very quickly, but right now off the bat, I have to say I'm not really a fan. This touchpad though, this touchpad is super smooth. It's almost like I'm gliding over it. I really like that. You've got a good size touchpad. That's quite cool as well. And again, like while I'm pressing it, while I'm typing the keys, I'm not feeling any flex on the laptop as well. It's really solid. Well, let's test out the screen. So I'm gonna go to YouTube obviously and play some 4K videos, or in this case, it's a full HD screen, but we're gonna test it out anyway. Okay, so screen-wise, okay. I think it's all right. Contrast ratio might not be the best. A lot of the dark areas tends to be a little more on the gray side. But in terms of clarity, colors, I would say it's okay. It's quite vibrant. I'm trying to go to some dark spots like here. It's quite nice. It's quite nice. It's not an OLED, obviously, so it will be unfair to sort of compare it to that. As far as LCD panels go, I think it was okay. Now, I don't have exact peak brightness and I don't have the color accuracy charts with me right now. I will get them and I'll mention that in the review. But right now, I would say definitely passable. I think it's quite nice. Now, the other thing is, these speaker grills are massive, all right? So obviously gonna test audio and I have some high expectations. One thing I will say though, it's not getting as loud as I thought it would. Now, like I mentioned, we got these grills here. I expected it to get really loud. It doesn't. However, at max volume, and this is at max volume, as you can see here, it's max volume. It's not distorting, which is good and not uncommon for laptop speakers, right? A lot of laptop speakers, once you get it to full volume, they tend to distort quite a bit. This one is not. Yeah. Yeah, okay, actually, I'm gonna adjust what I said a bit. Now, in terms of the clarity, it is very good. I still say that it doesn't get as loud as I thought it would. It still gets pretty loud, but I would say in terms of clarity and the fact that it doesn't distort at this kind of volume is actually really good. So yeah, I'm not sure if you're picking this up, but like the hi-hats, very clear, very crisp. It's not bad actually, yeah. Okay, but anyway, some of the other specs. Now, this supports Wi-Fi, obviously, all the way to Wi-Fi 6, also known as Wi-Fi AX. Supports Bluetooth 5.1, which is good. But again, yeah, the main thing right now is really gaming, and unfortunately, I can't test that right now. I'll need to install that. We'll do that in the full review. But anyway, that about wraps up the unboxing. We'll try to get the full review out in about a week's time. But in the meantime, do remember to subscribe, and I'm JP. I'll see you real soon.